gentlemen, welcome to Entrepreneur Middle East. My first victim of the day-to-day, Mr. Valerio Soldani. He is the Trade Commissioner of Italy to the UAE and Oman, and we're currently right here in the heart of Italy at Expand North Star in their pavilion. Thank you so much. Such an honor interviewing you and being here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Pleasure meeting you.
How's everything? How's the event going? I know it's the first day, but we're slowly gearing up.
You know, always hectic day, first day,
Right.
and we have 30 startups, which is our record high presence here at North Star. We carefully selected with our team in Italy the best startups to bring them over here in the Emirates to showcase their technology, products, services, and solutions. Some of them have been awarded in Italy. We're so thrilled about this edition and very much looking forward also to 2026 when, you know,
Right.
Gidex and North Star will come together.
Exactly.
So we're always super thrilled to be here.
100%. And I also heard that this is the largest participation that you guys have ever had in Expand North Star.
Yeah.
What does this mean to you? I mean, it's crazy, right?
I mean, it's crazy. It's the largest one. It wasn't easy, you know, to make room for all the startups that were applying because we got a lot of applications because, you know, everything is going on here in the Emirates. There's a huge spotlight on startups, on innovation. So it's a huge opportunity for startups. We, you know, usually focus more on export promotion, which is also part of our effort here at North Star because these companies are, you know, willing to pitch their products and solutions to the Emirates. But when it comes to startups, you know, some of them are in fundraising phase, some other one has a product that is ready to market. So it's really a mixed bunch of great innovators here, and I'm really willing to make the most out of the show.
100%. And I love how you mentioned both the experts and the startups because I've always been having these conversations on my interviews where why is it that in Europe, you know, in order for you to become something or someone, you need years of experience and expertise, and people don't look at you the same way when you're young. In Europe, let's say, whereas here, the Gen Zs are driving everything, you know, the young generations, the startups are driving everything, and it's just such a different mentality in a way. So it's great that you guys have the best of both worlds because I think combined, the perfect mentors and experts for those startups is what makes the perfect two, you know, the yin and the yang come together and drives the innovation forward. But going back to digitalization, I mean, we're at the peak here of health tech, crop tech, everything tech. How would you say, you know, you guys are utilizing all of that, and how are you digitalizing all the Italian founders here in the UAE?
Yeah, you know, it's a very good question because I think one of the unique assets of the Italian founders is the fact that they've been breeding their ideas, services, and products in the second EU manufacturing economy. So they had the opportunity to be right in those industrial districts that make Made in Italy great everywhere and in big demand. So these young entrepreneurs had the opportunity, together with more than 260 incubators and accelerators all over Italy and competence centers where the big Italian universities are, to, you know, make the R&D part, the research part, the academia part, the yin, as you said, meet with the yang. So the production, the ready to market, the production lines made by those small and medium enterprises that are really making the fabric of Made in Italy. I give you a practical example. There are some companies here that are providing software for healthcare emergency services. There is another startup that is providing mobile payments powered with AI and IoT that really learn from the customer base. And as you said, there's a young customer base here, diverse, young Gen Z that is really super digital.
We want it easy.
And you know, yeah, we want it easy, we want it fast, and we want it customized. With saying that with all our retailer partnerships. So I think they're able to pitch this unique mix of academia and industrial production.
100%.
That's why, you know, everybody talks about Italy when it comes to food, fashion, furniture, which is a huge chunk of our more than 8 billion euros exports in last year.
I love how you know your facts.
Yeah, I know, but the first voice is the other F, it's factory, it's technology, it's our technology, which is overperforming, growing 26% year over year, which is really faster than the general pace
Right.
of growth all across industries. It's
Right.
something really, flabbergasting when you think about
It's
technology.
crazy, it's crazy. Yeah. But how do you think, and specifically, like if you can name me the top 3 advantages, let's say, how the UAE can scale those Italian startups here, what would those advantages be, in your opinion?
Well, I think that the first advantage, as more than 600 Italian companies that have established a direct presence here.
600?
Yeah, more than 600. I think that a startup that is completing the fundraising phase,
Yeah.
that has already an MVP, they have 2 opportunities, the biggest one here. They can have a hub from here, so they can export to the Emirates and then expand to the region and the world, because this is a very high potential hub. You're not only selling to the local customer base, you're establishing a presence here to have, let's say, a bigger footprint in the region and the world. The second big potential is that you can learn from this market, because all the cutting edge solutions, all the best venture capital players are coming to the Emirates. This is a huge opportunity to learn from that. So all those companies that are establishing a direct presence here as
Yeah.
part of the exporter life cycles, first you start with the distributors, then you
Yeah.
start with a trade show, then you put your 2 feet into the market with a direct presence. Well, you have talent from all over the world. We've seen that in the Innovation Hub in the AFC, we've seen that in Partner Star,
Yeah.
in JIDEX, it's everywhere. So I think this is 2 opportunities to give, to learn, and to grow together with the
100%.
Emirates.
And
Yeah.
there's another thing which is like on the top of all of that, and that is like governmental support that we have here. I mean,
Yeah.
having the Ministry of AI, having the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, is just a different energy here in Dubai. I feel like everybody's just so driven, right, to create something on their own, and I think that's just incredible. Anyways, up next I have a question for you, which is that Italy's creative and engineering talent is world renowned, which is what you were talking about before, right? So how do you think this unique, let's say, mix driving the next generation of deep tech, of digital ventures is going to turn around here?
We have a lot of talent that is coming out from the university. So if you meet some of the startups, they're spin-offs of the university world. So they're right out of their PhD, their, let's say, academic career, but they're also ready to pitch the solution to the market. To give an example, there's another startup here who's delivering space economy solutions with remote trained AI model that can really manage satellites and other space economy devices and technology. Well, they perfected that together, hand in hand with the industry players that are more established. So they, let's say, validated that not only from the production part, but they're ready to validate that on the markets with the best demand and the highest competition.
Right.
So what we try to do as a government support here is very strong. We have also government support in Italy because we train our startups before bringing them over here. We always tell them when we do our training courses, when we prepare them before the show, that this is like the Champions League of the markets. You cannot come over here
And not
with
be
just
prepared.
an idea, not being prepared, or being lacking the competence and the ability to pitch the
Right.
right products, or not having a ready-to-market product.
Right.
So we train them. We got programs in Italy to carefully train them, and that's why we have a careful selection on what we bring to the market. And we have something new this year. We brought a
Tell us.
side events. That is called Super Connectors.
Okay.
It is the first time, together with other European and Asian countries, we, applied with our startups, and some of them have been selected to pitch in front of an audience of investors and connectors that will be able to make introduction and open doors for them in the Emirates market. This is
Amazing.
a powerful tool. It would be something very informal, very startup, very, super
And they get a
interesting
chance.
and quick, and they
Yeah.
have a chance. They have a better chance to make connection, to network.
It's
and
all
to,
about networking at the end of the day.
Everything.
It's who you meet,
Everything.
I think,
Yeah.
who you meet. But tell me, what's your ideal case scenario? You have an incredible, let's say, pool of young people in Italy. They're well educated, they finished Bocconi, let's say. Do you want them to come here and stay here, or do you want them to get that know-how from here and then invest that in Italy? What would be your ideal situation?
I can, recall one of our success stories at the Italian trade agency. Before Dubai, I was in New York. We
Okay.
had this startup, this very interesting startup. They went out from the university, they invented this big robotic arm making large format 3D printing.
Okay.
They were starting supplying to Ferrari, Ducati, and the big motor
No way.
racing names. And then
Okay.
they pivoted also to the space economy industry because large format 3D printing goes vertically everywhere. They have a lot of use cases. Well, what happened is that after the training course of the Italian trade agency, which is called the Global Startup Program, they teamed up with global accelerators worldwide. Then they got fundraising, they increased the number of their employees. I guess they're well above the 100 employees number now, they're a scale up now. Then they came to Dubai, they established a direct presence, they started doing not only selling their products, their robotic arms, but doing the post-sales activity, hiring talent over here, engineers, and serving the whole region and the Southern Eastern Asian market from here. So
Okay.
this is, to me, one of the best case
Scenarios.
history scenarios you can have. So I would encourage to follow that lead the other startups. This is the ideal scenario.
Right.
You start up, you scale up, you learn from key markets worldwide, and then you bring your direct presence everywhere because they need to be small, lean, fast, but also globalized. This is a global world. You
Right.
need to be connected and not only serving the domestic market.
And a few decades later, you sell it, and then Sicilia pension, little
I
house.
can say that I don't like, retiring. I like action, so I don't think this guy's gonna retire anytime soon.
Anyways, amazing. So tell me, future prospects, plans, visions. Where would you like you guys to be in the next couple of years, and even like a decade, if you want to think ahead?
I think that's a huge opportunity. We just came out with the 2025 data on Italian exports to the Emirates, and we already.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys
Made in
are
Italy
everywhere.
is everywhere. We also we already at 4.5 billion euros exports, so we are growing 19% year over year. It means that in 4 years we doubled our business value in the region in only 4 years. Sometimes I joke with my
Incredible.
team. Looks like rember the movie Interstellar?
Yeah. My favorite movie.
Yeah, they go on a
Wormhole.
wormhole, far-fetched planet, and they spend a couple of days there, and the rest of the world is like aging.
Like 10
I
years,
feel the same.
yeah.
Everything's so fast
I
here,
know.
and then you go out, you understand that this is another pace, and our companies are globally looking. We are an exporting country, so we're performing great here because a lot of entrepreneurs, women and men that are making Made in Italy going
Right.
big and global, they're making this possible every day. And we see that in the numbers, and we see that in the
Right.
pulse of Expander
And we hear it after English and Arabic. The next language that I hear is Italian here. I mean, you guys are everywhere.
Glad to hear that.
But it's amazing. No, honestly, God bless you guys. One last question for you, since we are entrepreneur. What sort of pieces of advice would you give to all those young entrepreneurs out there that would like to potentially come here and start something?
I would say, focus on your pitch, on your added value, but also go out of your comfort zone. Meet other founders, because here you have a global stage. You have the opportunity to meet other founders, to meet investors, and get some feedbacks that are really valuable. This is the reason why we're not on a Zoom call now. We are in person
Here.
at a trade show with a crowd here, so you can make the most out of it, getting value from people who've been there before you, and you can ask questions and get relevant feedback, and adjust your trajectory to get the business going fast.
Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, please come check out the Italian pavilion here at Expand North Star. Valerio, such a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for today. Grazie.
Pleasure is mine.
And
Thank you.
we really wish you the best of luck.
Grazie
Looking forward.
mille.
Grazie.
Bocca al lupo.